What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today I'm excited to be showing another top level rental team for the Regulation E perspective format. We of course aren't certain at this point that the Regulation E format will be all the Pokemon legal in the base Scarlet and Violet, as well as all the Pokemon released in Pokemon Home, including Bloodmoon, Ursaluna, and Alolan-Ninetales, but that's what everyone's operating under the assumption of, so that's what we're going to be going for today. And the team we're going to be using today is a team that was created by Francis, or at least piloted by Francis, to a third place victory in the Samurott Showdown, which was an online grassroots tournament that had a couple of other strong players in it. So yeah, definitely has a lot of really cool tools, and most notably it has the Ursaluna Bloodmoon form, which I've really been meaning to try out. Looking forward to trying out. I'll have that tournament as well as Francis's Twitter account if I can find that in the description below, as well as the rental code in the top right of the screen and the Pokepaste. These Pokemon were created in-game because Francis didn't share the rental code as far as I'm aware, so these are kind of just guesstimate EV spreads, but I have roughly 10 years of experience playing the game behind my belt, so I think the EV spreads are definitely going to be at least suitable to take onto the casual ladder, which we're going to be doing today. If you enjoy the rental code as a resource, or the Pokepaste, or even the battles, which I'll be going into after this team breakdown, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Trying to hit 1,000 subs in the near future. With all that being said, let's get into a breakdown of the team. It's a very cool team with a lot of excellent synergy. I'll start off with the Cresselia. It's probably the most standard Pokemon in the team. The Psychic coverage, a lot of times we'll see Moonblast or Psychic, or a Moonblast or an Ice move on it, but we have Psychic here, which can be really nice into things like Iron Hands, fighting types that would generally threaten Ursaluna. Being able to hit Okidogi for 4 times super effective damage is also very nice. Ally Switch is just a really solid move to let your Ninetales set up Aurora Veil and then just give your other Pokemon cover fire like Ursaluna. Most notably having a lot of resistances to the attacks that are super effective into Ursaluna, as well as Ursaluna being the normal typing, so that if you ally switch a ghost type move that was headed to Cresselia, you're immune on the Ursaluna. So it's just a very nice synergy that was present for the more physical oriented Ursaluna, and now is also present on this special Bloodmoon one. The last 2 moves on the set are Lunar Blessing and Trick Room, so just really trying to support the setup of the Ursaluna, which yeah. One last thing, it is Safety Goggles and Terra Dark, so being able to use Safety Goggles to avoid Spore and Terra Dark to avoid Prankster Taunt is just pretty cool coverage, especially on a ladder environment, so I'm expecting to be going for that pretty often against like a Prankster Taunt Tornadus or Thundurus. Getting into the star of the show though, we have the Ursaluna Bloodmoon form with the Mind's Eye ability. Now getting into the star of the show, we have the Ursaluna Bloodmoon form with the Mind's Eye ability. It's able to hit ghost type attacks with its Hyper Voice and any other normal type attack. It could also hit ghost types with Vacuum Wave if you're running that, but not on this set. This one is a very cool Terra Ghost Leftovers Calm Mind set, which really focuses on bulk, the leftovers increasing the longevity, along with the Aurora Veil and Assault Vest present on the team. Just really difficult to knock this Pokemon out. It has a really high natural physical defense and a lower special defense, which is covered up by Calm Mind. And after you get a Calm Mind up, you're essentially 2-KOing everything with Hyper Voice and Earth Power that's neutral, which is just really valuable onto Ursaluna. Really lets you take advantage of the Trick Room turns pretty safely. Just going for Ally Switch, Lunar Blessing, and just pressuring with the other Pokemon on the team. The next mode on the team is more Hail oriented. I think this is generally solid to lead with. The Ninetales with Focus Sash is pretty consistently going to be getting Aurora Veil up, and you don't have a ton of bulk because you're truthfully trying to get the Ninetales knocked out. And if they don't knock you out, you can go for Blizzards, fish for Freezes. Moonblast is generally strong into Urshifu. The last move on the set is very interesting. It's Howl. So every Pokemon in the team except for the Ursaluna and the Cresselia, so the Trick Room mode, benefits from this very, very much. Baxcalibur, with loaded dice, is doing incredible damage with the new Scale Shot it gets access to while also raising its speed. So if you can get a Howl up while protecting your Baxcalibur as well as Aurora Veil, you're really set to sweep with just incredibly strong attacks. And if for some reason you aren't able to get a Scale Shot off, you also have a strong Ice Shard. And just in case you aren't aware, loaded dice essentially makes Scale Shot and Icicle Spear always hit 4 to 5 times, which is just a major power buff. You don't have to worry about Glaive Rushes, negative doubling damage side effect, and then you don't have to worry about missing with Icicle Crash, which is oftentimes pretty critical on your Baxcalibur. The next 2 Pokemon on the team are pretty boring. We have Grassy Glide on the Rillaboom, which is nice, a nice boon that it's gotten since the DLC. Lets it run a little slower, not really have to worry about moving first to hit Wood Hammer to get damage off. We have Drum Beating on this set, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not totally certain about it. I think most of the Pokemon on this team, except for the Baxcalibur, aren't going to be taking huge advantage of it. I guess Urshifu can. You can surprise opponents like maybe Drum Beating, a FlutterMane. I actually don't think I trained this Urshifu especially to take advantage of the Aurora Veil. The Urshifu is, I think, pretty close to, if not max special defense, with a fair amount of HP investment to live Grassy Glide without Aurora Veil up against a Rillaboom, and then the rest is just dumped into attack and speed. So it's a very bulky team overall, lots of room to pivot around with the Rillaboom and Urshifu, and I really think this Ursaluna is going to be very cool with the grassy terrain left over. Is going to be so bulky, hard to take down. And I'm excited to see the damage output we get from that. Once again, if you enjoy the rental code as well as the team breakdown and the PokePaste with the EV spreads in the description below, please subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, let's get into the battles. Okay, first battle of the day, and it's actually a really interesting looking team. It's a FlutterMane, Slaking, Pelipper, Palafin, Weezing, Kanto form, and the Toedscruel. So the Toedscruel I'd usually think would be using... Oh, I see the... So Toedscruel's kind of had its viability kneecapped because of its ability Mycelium Might, basically letting it not use its speed stat to be able to go for Spore first, and yeah, always using status move second, and Galar and the Weezing's Neutralizing Gas actually eliminates that. So that's really cool. They can also kind of stuff us with... They can actually Will-O-Wisp Baxcalibur, which is kind of a concern. I think we do have some concern about Taunt. I'm not so worried about damage output into Ursaluna, truthfully. Like, I kind of just want to Earth Power that guy pretty immediately. Yeah. Baxcalibur's tempting, but it's not going to do that much damage. I think I will bring Rillaboom for the Palafin. That seems pretty strong. And then lastly, I'm going to go with Ninetales, which could be a mistake. But I think the ice coverage is pretty nice, and being able to turn off rain after Weezing is gone is going to be super valuable. If they lead Weezing, they can definitely taunt my Cresselia, but I can also Psychic them if they go for that, so I'm not too worried about that overall. But yeah, really interesting team from my opponent. I haven't seen Slaking's power in this generation yet, so I'm excited to see what it has in store. They got SpongeBob themed nicknames or something. That's pretty cool. So unfortunately they can Spore our side. I think the better play for us is probably just Trick Room and probably Calm Mind, if I had to guess, would be pretty good. I could Earth Power immediately and most likely knock out the Weezing. Which I think I might go for. Yeah, I think I will go for that. Well, I don't want them to Rage Powder taunt. And if they Spore me, I'm fine as long as I get a Calm Mind up. They protect Weezing, which is kind of an interesting play. I think if you have Taunt, you should probably expend it there. Ooh. Yeah, that's open team sheet stuff. Yeah, that doesn't happen in open team sheet, but you know, that's the ladder we're playing. And we don't quite win on the first turn, but it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty sure we'll underspeed with both, which really forces them to go for a redirection move, in which case I'm totally fine going for Psychic into the Weezing along with a Hyper Voice. This Calm Mind's going to do a ton, or this Hyper Voice is going to do a ton after that. They're switching out Squidward. Oh no. Oh, come on, Mane. That doesn't feel... Oh, that's interesting. So because of their... First off, you see the interaction, that booster energy, and I think Sun is not ignored, or Photosynthesis and Quark Drive are both immune to... Okay, that's cool. Cool Haze. There's their Dondozo counter, I guess. So yeah, as you saw, the Photosynthesis act... Ooh, you live. That's interesting. That's okay, though. I think now I just literally go for Psychic. Calm Mind. Yeah, that feels pretty safe. Well, should I be conscious of my Trick Room turns? Probably. I have Rillaboom in the back, which if I can just chip down the FlutterMane with a little bit, should fall to Grassy Glide. So what I think what I'll actually do is predict them to protect. Yep, that's kind of the pitfall of Weezing, even in past generations, is neutralizing gas is like a very potent ability. You get a lot of value out of it, but Weezing as a Pokemon isn't too solid. And a lot of the time it's just immediately knocked out by other Pokemon. So most of the time it's just gonna be sitting on the field doing exactly that. Oh, Trick Room of its own, that's interesting. I'm okay with that. Cause like, okay, you don't get a ton of value out of that, and now I just go for... Like, they can take away my Calm Mind again, maybe imprison Trick Room, I guess, which wouldn't be the end of the world. Because, like I said, I'm not a physical Ursaluna, so I'm not super threatened. I do want to wipe out the Weezing this turn, just like guarantee that. Ally Switch could be kind of cool. I think Trick Room's just really safe. Like, I don't quite see how they get out of that situation. Yeah, they Shadow Ball Cresselia, fair enough. Could have Ally Switched. But, okay, Haze. So dealing with my Calm Mind. Which they kind of had to do. I totally forgot about my Calm Mind because it just felt so likely they'd haze it away. But I still doubt I knock out FlutterMane, but if they were in Imprison set, I could have gone for Psychic, Earth Power, and maybe knocked out that way. At this point, it's looking pretty good, though, because now we have the Ursaluna in. If we get the Calm Mind up, we're kind of chilling. We can go into our Rillaboom on pretty much anything. Squidward comes out. I actually like their Pikachu mask. I should consider getting the masks in game. Those are pretty cute. Rillaboom seems like pretty solid. I think I just need a little bit of chip onto the FlutterMane, so I'm going to go for Lunar Blessing, or Ally Switch, Hyper Voice actually. I think that's really strong. And Calm Mind. Because they're most likely to Shadow Ball my Cresselia again, and Spore my Ursaluna. And this works so that because the slots are switched, they'll be Shadow Balling a normal type and Sporing a safety valve Pokemon. Oh, they at least Storm the Cresselia. Okay. So, similar idea, and they reverse Trick Room. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I guess not so fine. I just keep forgetting their FlutterMane can do that. But now they're in a situation where they can win if my Joy-Con doesn't reconnect. That's okay, that's why we have a controller right next to us that's wired. Excuse the clickiness of it. That also seems to be disconnected. Oh, there we are. Joy-Con. Sorry, the Joy-Con deconnected, so that seemed to be their win condition. I think at this point they're probably going for a Shadow Ball. Yeah, they can go for Shadow Ball, but honestly, with the Calm Mind boost, I'm okay with that. And I'll just go for another Trick Room. Like, they can probably just pick me off with Shadow Ball this turn, which is fine. But with Rillaboom in the back, I'm not too stressed about it. Because I think, generally, it was Booster Special Attack, right? Yeah, I think so. So I did consider going for Terra Dark on my Cresselia to try and basically resist the Shadow Ball and get a cheeky Trick Room up. But yeah, they're probably going to Spore here. Oh, that's a big mistake. You should definitely go for Spore into Ursaluna. That might have been covering for the double Ally Switch, but I believe that has the same chance as a double Protect at this point, so probably not the best call. But now I think we pretty safely... Well, how fast is my Mycelium guy? I might as well get the leftovers healing going. Because I think Fake Out Hyper Voice is reasonably safe. I doubt they have Protect on Flutter. I would have liked to have seen this lacking though, I'll be honest. But now I think just, yeah, as we saw, we 2-hit KO the Squidward. Yeah, they quit. So yeah, Calm Mind Ursaluna seemed to be really difficult for them to beat. Even though they missed the Leaf Storm, they're at -2, I was at +1. And with Rillaboom coming in, I was about to start healing Mondo damage off. And I think honestly, the next turn, like I should just win with Grassy Glide, Hyper Voice into most of their Pokemon. It could have been Pelipper in the back. Yeah, once Weezing went away, the ability to use our own abilities just became really difficult for them to contend with. And that's kind of the issue with the Weezing teams in general, is when you have Weezing on the field, really strong, you have so much synergy, you've built a team essentially around turning your own abilities on and off at will, while your opponent doesn't have that luxury in their team building because they don't have Weezing. But as soon as Weezing goes down, you just have a team that doesn't function super well against opposing teams' abilities, as well as you're not really getting a lot of benefit from your team building strengths anymore. So yep, that was a good game plan, just knock out Weezing and then get Trick Room up, and it was hard to deal, especially with the Calm Mind FlutterMane, because they brought mainly the Calm Mind Ursaluna, because they brought mainly special attackers like the FlutterMane, the Mycelium Boy, and the Weezing. So next one, we do have some DLC Pokemon. Well, one, the Gliscor is the only one. I'm not sure if this gets Sandveil. I know it gets Toxic Orb, but I did have a pretty tough run-in with Houndstone, with Will-O-Wisp and Fluffy a while back, so I do want to be conscious of that. I think Ninetales is pretty strong in a lot of respects, but their ability to just turn off the snow and then break my Focus Sash with sand is definitely off-putting. Urshifu does very well here, though, I will note that. I think I want to be threatening the... Honestly, if I can stop screens from going up, I'll be pretty happy. Like, I like Calm Mind a fair bit on this guy. Along with Urshifu, I don't really want to lead Trick Room just yet, because I think the Tar in the back is a bit problematic. I do want to bring the Snow Mode at some point. Might make good use of it, but I don't think Baxcalibur is too strong here against a team with pretty high physical defense overall. It does do well into the Enamorus, but after Calm Mind, Assault Vest, I'm not too worried about the Enamorus, honestly. Which could be a mistake. That might be my undoing, but we'll have to see. I think the Ninetales was definitely not a bring, and the Baxcalibur wasn't too strong against their Grimmsnarl, their Tyranitar, their Fluffy, the other one, the Houndstone. So it really was just hitting Gliscor and Enamorus for big damage. And there's an Enamorus Little Snake Incarnate, or Therian form. Does it lose the flying type? I should definitely learn that. Yeah, there's Grimmsnarl Gliscor, so Hail actually would have been really strong, or Snow. But I do feel pretty confident about... Do they have a switch in for this? I don't think so. I think Calm Mind's pretty safe, as is... I kind of just want to Calm Mind up. Like, I'm really threatening them. I'm like kind of forcing a Terra on their Gliscor. And I think I don't want to bite into them being something silly like Rocky Helmet Terra Water. And if they don't switch out this turn, then I have Cresselia in for free. They'd have to be Taunt, Grimmsnarl, or Gliscor to stop Trick Room from going up, which I'm totally fine to bet on, because if I can get Calm Mind up, I'm not facing a lot of damage this turn from two predominantly physical attackers. Okay, there's Fake Out into the Cresselia, so... And Substitute. Oh, that's... They don't know about the special Ursaluna, it feels like. Gliscor has really high physical defense stat, but it's very much like a singles wall in that it's so optimized in that one stat, it can't switch into special hits that well. So they do get the Poison Tick there. Tempted to go for another Calm Mind, but I think Hyper Voice is probably getting 2-hit KOs here anyway, so I'm going to go for a Trick Room. There's an argument for Terra Dark. The only question is, am I going to need my Terra Ghost for anything. And I think probably not, if I had to guess. Yeah, I doubt it. I think I like Hyper Voice, Terra Dark here, just in case they have Taunt. And if they're like Fake Out, oftentimes it doesn't carry Light Screen, Reflect, and things of that nature. If you notice that I have the helmet on and I haven't had it in previous videos, truthfully, I just haven't made it to the Hairdresser in Scarlet and Violet, and I'm not sure where to find it. It's probably in the main town. They go for Light Screen, so that was a wasted Terra on my behalf, but all things considered, I think it was probably the safer play. Okay, yeah, we're going to take a lot less damage, but we were just going to Lunar Blessing that off anyways. At this point, though, not facing a lot of damage from the Ursaluna. I am not threatening a 2-hit KO on Grimmsnarl, but I think I'm pretty safe to go for a Calm Mind. Switch to my Rillaboom. Start getting beefier. Yeah, I want Fake Out pressure on the board as well as U-turn ability. Protect from Gliscor feels pretty safe from them. You know what? Something I forget is, although Grimmsnarl is kind of food for the base form Ursaluna, they can Spirit Break me for pretty sizable damage. Not sizable, but sizable impact in that Spirit Break is going to be lowering my special attack. But now I get Fake Out, or I get Calm Mind on the board while Fake Out is out, so I can Fake Out the Grimmsnarl before it... I guess it wouldn't most likely have Parting Shot because of these movesets, but okay. They're taking my leftovers away, which is fair enough, but not doing too much damage. So this is kind of the pitfall of running really defensive teams in doubles, is you can put up a wall, but if you're not tearing down your opponent's team with it, they're just going to tear down your wall before they can tear yours down. I believe we're pretty close to a knockout on the Gliscor. It's going to be close on the Rillaboom, or it's going to be close on the Grimmsnarl with Hyper Voice. I would expect it not to get it. We don't get either. Unfortunate. They get a Toxic off though, which is fine by me because I'm like this turn I'm healing. I'm probably just going to be U-turn Hyper Voicing anyways, so I'm just going to get my Lunar Blessing Cresselia in. So if they Toxic my Ursaluna, which they shouldn't be able to do, I'll be okay with that. So 2 turns of Trick Room left. We have a double knockout on the board. Yeah, this is the difficulty. If they hadn't had Light Screen, we would have just gotten the first Calm Mind up without a lot of offensive pressure on the board. And then we would have 2-hit KO'd both of the Pokemon and then just gotten right back into this situation. So I think it's actually a misplay to go for U-turn here because we don't get our Cresselia in if we take a double knockout. Like, unless we wanted to U-turn our own Ursaluna, which just doesn't feel like a solid play for us. Yeah, Bloodmoon Ursaluna, even though it doesn't have the signature Bloodmoon move, like, Earth Power, like this coverage with the Mind's Eye ability is just so crazy. Because you can't switch into Steel or Rock type Pokemon on the face of a Earth Power if I decide to go for that, and everything else is like neutral. And Gliscor is going to go down to Hyper Voice next turn, so we're sitting pretty. With 2 Calm Minds up, that's really nice. Because Ursaluna's defense stat, I think it has like 120, 113 is the split. Okay, Namorous is in. With the 2 Calm Minds, they're going to really struggle to take us out. Yep, there's the 2 Calm Minds. They can stall out Trick Room, definitely. But I think we'll just Calm Mind. Ooh. We are a Ghost type, or a Dark type. So that Terra is coming back to bite us. I think we'll just get Fake Out pressure on the board against the Enamorous. A lot of the time, their choice specs for Assault Vest. Sometimes they are like Protect Trick Room, but it's not too common. A lot of the time, you want to take advantage of the strong move pool of Enamorous. It does take half from... Ooh, you don't even see the animation because I knocked that through sub. Pretty rare occurrence there. It goes for Springtide Storm, which can lower special attack which it does. Oh, just attack. Never mind. I thought it was more comparable to Moonblast, but okay. So yep, we see the grassy terrains go off. I am reminded by that interaction that Enamorus is in fact a flying Pokemon, as well as having the floating cloud on its back. So there is Houndstone. I preserved my normal type. You can't really hit my Ursaluna for too hard. It's looking pretty bad for them, I would say. Yeah. Looks really tough for them. Yeah, I don't see how they get around Fake Out, Hyper Voice. Like, they could protect Enamorus, but they're not doing a lot of damage to my Ursaluna because they can't go for Last Respects. So if they are going for Terra Ghost, that's fine. Like, if they don't have Protect on their Enamorus, we knock it out this turn, and then Cresselia is Dark type, so we're not worried about that. Yeah, no Protect. Might have been trying to, like, crit a Springtide Storm and knock out my Rillaboom this turn, assuming I go for Grassy Glide, but that doesn't even knock out. Wow, that's pretty tough. And we get a complete sweep with the Ursaluna. Next turn, we'll just go for a Grassy Glide Hyper Voice, and yeah, they just have no way of taking the knockouts they need to. So good game to my opponent. The Calm Mind Ursaluna, probably not what they're expecting. They can definitely hold up to Assault Vest a little bit better. They're outstalling me with Poison Heal and things like that, but I am a little curious what their game plan was for Cresselia, because it didn't seem like they had a lot for Lunar Blessing healing, unfortunately for them. Yeah, we just run out of the terrain, so we'll go for Drum Beating, guarantee we're faster with the Urshifu, and we'll close this one out. Yeah, and that high base physical. Yeah, if we were a physical Ursaluna, we'd be kind of worried about all these drops. Okay, that kind of does look like fluffy Houndstone, though. On the Sand team, that's pretty interesting. Not taking advantage of Sandrush Will-O-Wisp, which I think is a pretty decent set, but the fluffy one in a highly physical metagame is definitely super valuable. So yeah, GG's to Turk. Unfortunately, Ursaluna Bloodmoon is just as good as I was hoping. Just excellent stats, and the Calm Mind really shores up its only weakness outside of the low speed, which is covered by Trick Room. You just get the Calm Mind up on any turn of Trick Room, which is something to comment on. Against Trick Room teams, a lot of the times you'll see opponents go for double protects, and with the pressure of Calm Mind on the board, it's a lot more difficult to do. Similar to Swords Dance Ursaluna base form, you can just punish opponents if they start playing defensive against you, especially on ladder, when they don't know you have that in your moveset. Alright, battle against Z, and we have what looks like a Rain team. Really cool, kind of reminiscent of old teams with Rain Setter, Thundurus, Ludicolo, and Landorus. Now we have some newcomers. We have the FlutterMane and the Iron Hands. Let's see what we can do about it. So I think we're at a pretty big advantage in terms of the weather war. At least we would be if we had Freeze Dry, but they don't, like Thundurus, Landorus obviously don't love taking blizzards. They don't know we don't have Freeze Dry on Pelipper. But yeah, I think having this in the back is going to be pretty nice. The Baxcalibur is, I believe, Terra Water, which is kind of bad. Oh, Terra Poison. That's better against Iron Hands, but still not that great. Yeah, I'm definitely worried about the hands a fair bit. I think I need to preserve my Rillaboom for that. It's not a great switch in, but at least it can do something. A Fake Out plus FlutterMane seems like a reasonably likely lead to cover for my... Yeah, that seems like a reasonably likely lead. I think I'm going to go with the Hail in the back this time. And honestly, I feel like the healing from Lunar Blessing could be pretty valuable for my team. I don't know I get a ton of value out of Urshifu or Ursaluna in this game, so I think this is going to be the Hail game for us. Bit of a weather mirror. We're notably not leading it. I doubt they do either, just because the easy counterplay to that is, okay, just switch in your other weather setter, unless they can get a really solid tempo, like a KO turn one, that's usually not going to be super high value for them. Okay, yep, Thundurus Ludicolo, a 2015 classic, one of my favorite formats, and I'll be honest, they led pretty poorly into my 2. Like, I feel like I have a very safe U-turn. Base speed check. Ludicolo, if they run max speed, which they might, would outspeed us, and I think they're incentivized to run a fair bit of speed. I think I'm gonna go U-turn. I can actually threaten a knockout next turn most likely if I go for drum beating into the Ludicolo, and it threatens more damage. Could be Terra Blast Thunderous, which would be interesting. Thankfully it doesn't learn Hurricane. Yeah, it doesn't. Ooh, Terra Fire, interesting. I guess that could be Sunny Day Terra Blast, which would be really cool. Yeah, that would probably knock out Rillaboom. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Okay, so they've already burned their Terra, which is fine. We actually did outspeed Ludicolo, super valuable. And yeah, we would have been able to knock out the next turn. Yeah, Weather Ball. Okay, that makes a ton of sense. That's a consistent option in rain as well as in sun in this instance, so really cool team from them. But unfortunately, Ludicolo does have a pretty unimpressive attack stat, so we do just take a knockout. We don't take a knockout, but we're looking pretty solid against them. They're leftovers, okay. I think Scale Shot should pretty easily knock out their Pokemon there. They could go for Rain Dance, outspeed me. They probably would knock me out with Ice Beam, so I think I'm just going to go to Cresselia here. And yeah, take the knockout on the Ludicolo. Based on that damage, I would really expect Scale Shot to knock out. And the defense stat, unless they're Superpower Thunderous, isn't going to play an effect against us. It is Protect, fair enough. So we could have gone for an Icicle Crash. They've been for an Icicle. Ooh, Thunder Wave misses into Baxcalibur, which is really nice. But we do miss they do hit their attack. I think at this point though, we do have what appears to me a pretty safe Icicle Spear, Lunar Blessing. Weather Ball won't do much damage to us because it's neutral due to our ability, and Ice Beam's not going to do a lot. Yeah, I think we're pretty safe to go for that. Although we do have what feels like a knockout onto the Ludicolo. If they switch into FlutterMane, I could be in trouble. Like FlutterMane Taunt would be a little annoying. So yeah, I'm kind of tired of this Thunderous. I'm going to go for Lunar Blessing. They could taunt me. Yeah, they switch out Ludicolo. And what's it going to be? It's going to be that FlutterMane. So very glad we didn't go for the Scale Shot. Would have wasted our turn entirely. But yeah, they do get the Sun boost up on Photosynthesis, getting a special attack boost. And they did go for Thunder Wave. So if we hit this and we get Lunar Blessing off, definitely a very positive turn. But if not, we're still in a pretty decent spot because of our Terra Poison. And oh, that's such a nice interaction for us. Because they lowered our speed, our Baxcalibur moved second, and we got to go for the 100% accurate, or 100% 4 times hit Icicle Spear. Not for the loaded dice, we could have 2-hit them and been in some trouble there, but yeah, definitely showing off the value of Baxcalibur. And Cresselia, of course, always helping out. But Iron Hand comes out. Is that a nickname? That's kind of funny. Yeah, I think it is Iron Hands, plural. Quirk Drive. Wait, what? Oh, they're a booster energy, I guess. That's interesting. Definitely a lot of damage being threatened onto that. I like Protect here, honestly, and switch into Rillaboom isn't, I think, too good for me. I kind of just want to turn off their boost for the most part. If I set up Trick Room, that's kind of to my detriment, actually. So I think I do just like going for Psychic onto hands. Like, I feel like it's Specs on Baxcalibur, which is a little troublesome. I think if I can ship the FlutterMane, though, I'll be able to knock it out with Grassy Glide. This was a pretty obvious Protect, but I don't want to waste my Terra on a Fake Out plus Shadow Ball. And they do Fake Out into the We'll be able to gauge damage here. If their specs, we're in a really nice spot. Yeah, that feels specs. Okay. So now I think we have a pretty clear Terrace Poison. We've preserved that very nicely unless they're Stomping Tantrum hands. We're chilling. They do actually have a knockout with the Moonblast. So I'm going to switch into my Ninetales here, take advantage of that, turn off their boost, and most likely knock out their FlutterMane. And I think with our back Pokemon, we should be able to beat the Ludicolo and the Iron Hands with our Cresselia, but the booster energy attack boost on the Iron Hands is definitely very cool, could give them an out. I'm definitely worried about them knocking out the Baxcalibur this turn because of like if they protect FlutterMane, that's kind of an issue, or if they just Wild Charge, it's going to do a lot of damage. This Baxcalibur doesn't have a lot of bulk, so definitely something to be concerned about. It does go for Dazzle though, doesn't do a lot to Baxcalibur, would have knocked us out, but yeah, now guaranteed knockout. Just the assurance that you get from not having to miss Icicle Crash or go for unloaded Icicle Spears is really, really nice, and I'm glad we're getting to show off the Baxcalibur here. We'll see the damage from the Iron Hands. It is a Drain Punch into the Ninetales, which I'm totally okay with. At this point, I do think we just bring in the Rillaboom. We are revealed to be at least speed tying last turn. Yeah, and we actually get to reset our grass, which is super nice. So now I think we have a very safe play of Fake Out the Iron Hands to stop them from getting any damage into the Baxcalibur. I'm pretty confident Ludicolo will go down to a Scale Shot. It's not a really bulky Pokemon on the physical side, or any side unless you're holding Assault Vest, so we're just going to go right for that. They did manage to heal up a lot with leftovers and things like that, but, you know, with Scale Shot we should be able to knock them out. They don't protect, which is contrary to what I would have guessed based on what this Pokemon usually runs. Oh, that's probably going to live, huh? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot bulkier than I would have guessed. We would have knocked out with 5 hits, but not to be. We do get a speed boost, but it's at the expense of a defense boost, which I think is bad. Oh, they actually have Terra Ice Weather Ball on the board, which cool, but without the stab boost from the Terra Fire as well as the Sun boost, we saw do like 2/3 HP last time. They were doing less than half this time, so yeah, we do end up living, and that's gonna not quite seal the game, but definitely put things in our favor. I guess I do have to be worried about Protect still, so I'm gonna go for... I shouldn't sack the Cress, actually. I should never sack my Cresselia because with Lunar Blessing should be able to outstall the Iron Hands. So I think I do like Drum Beating onto Ludicolo. They should have protected that turn if they had it. And if they don't, I just get it next turn. Yeah, they did protect though. Good play. This is very reliant on them attacking my Rillaboom though, which is kind of a 50-50. So definitely happy with that play, even though it's not going to work out. They do Drain Punch Rillaboom, fair enough. But I do... Icicle Spear should knock them out on the Ludicolo. And I think that's... Well, they're not going to Drain Punch, so Cresselia is in a bit of a weird spot. I need to check my speed stat just a bit. So this is the detriment of the defense drop. Ooh. Yeah, the booster energy is going to make things kind of tight. I think Wild Charge will probably knock me out, but the recoil should be okay. Gonna check out my speed stat. I am a min speed Cresselia, I believe. Yeah, so Iron Hands does have potential to outspeed us. If we hit Scale Shot, Icicle Spear feels like it should knock out. And is more accurate. I actually did not know Scale Shot could miss. That's super relevant. I think I just like Lunar Blessing. Ally Switch is an option for sure. Lunar Blessing feels a lot more safe though. Like I can ally, I think Ally Switch is probably better given they are booster energy and we should be beating them with Psychic. This lets us reveal speed tiers as well. Okay, we're going for Icicle Spears. It's going to be close, but I do think this is going to knock them out. Yeah, unless they super mineral, yeah, and get 4 hits, we knock them out. And I was preserving my defense boost as well as not wanting to risk the miss there. The Ludicolo was a lot bulkier than I expected. I wonder if it was Weather Ball, Leech Seed, running a bulky set, I'm not quite sure. But we do outspeed the Iron Hands. That should lock up game unless they have some unexpected moves, like Thunder Punch should knock us out, Wall Charge probably could. Oh, they go into the Cresselia, so very glad I did Wild Charge or Ally Switch. And at this point, they are healing with grassy terrain, but there's really nothing stopping us from just go for Lunar Blessing. Or, yeah, just another Lunar Blessing feels pretty safe. No reason to mess around. I guess if they were speed tying us, they could have Wild Charged in one. But if they're going to knock me out with Wild Charge, they're going to knock me out anyways, and I doubt Ice Cold Spear was 2-KOing. But that was maybe a gap in my gameplay where just going for Ice Cold Spear, Psychic that last turn is a bit safer. But yeah, good games to them. The Ludicolo proved a lot bulkier than expected, and honestly was almost MVP for them with that really cool set, but not quite. The damage output without a Life Orb on Ludicolo is, or a Z move or Terra or Dynamax moves is just really lacking. Alright, last one of the day, and it's a really interesting one against a opponent with a standard team outside of one member. We have Dragonite, Heatran, Rillaboom, Chien-Pao, FlutterMane, and Furret. So Furret gets 2 notable moves. It gets Tidy Up and Follow Me, I believe. Ursaluna actually feels a little weak to Grassy Glide, truthfully. That's a bit of an issue. We could break Alolan-Ninetales, which is strong against most of their Pokemon, but the inability to handle the Chien-Pao FlutterMane is a bit annoying. I think I like Cresselia as a lead a fair bit. Unless they have Taunt, we should be able to live some attacks. Dragonite's a for sure concern. I think I actually might go in a weird direction here. I want to set Snow up for my Baxcalibur on the defensive side, and I want Baxcalibur plus Ursaluna for an Ice type plus Ground type combo in Trick Room, which should cover most Heatran Terra types. They're usually Grass. On the off chance they're Bug, it would probably live Earth Power Ice Cold Spear now that I think about it, but it's so uncommon I don't think it's worth adjusting my game plan considerably for. I always mess up my hair when I'm playing, just running my hair through it with the nerves, trying to figure out the best plays. I end up looking like Jimmy Neutron by the end sometimes. Ooh. Spirigatito, or whatever it's called. Which one did I choose in the story? I think I chose... Yeah, I chose the other one. Okay, so they lead Furret plus the Frisk. Okay, so you my items, fair enough. With the Ninetales defense boost, I'd expect us to live this, honestly. And that's pretty good. If they have a Terra, I feel like they go for it here in the face of Blizzard. They don't have to like follow me or anything like that, which is cool. But they don't have Friend Guard, which is nice. I think it's reasonably likely they're going for something like a Terra here, or a, yeah. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I would have expected a Terra there from them, but that kind of shows them to be multi-scale to me. Okay, so they go for Super Fang. I'm pretty sure the combination won't knock me out next turn because of Aurora Veil going up unless they go for a Terra. Yeah, I think Lunar Blessing now is pretty safe for me. They have to Terra to deal with this, and I get big damage off on either with Blizzard. And them not going for Terra last turn was a little odd, but we'll take it, less damage. But if we can get out of this, having broken their multi-scale, that was probably what they were going for. Like, them not tearing, like you just lose your Dragonite if I go for Blizzard if you aren't multi-scale, so I would guess that's the case. Oh, Helping Hand. So that's offsetting the Aurora Veil. And is it going to knock out? It is not. Not completely offsetting it. And now we just knock out the Dragonite, do 50%, a little less to the Furret, and heal all the HP back. So Ninetales this isn't how I wanted to lead. The way this lead is going is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I was kind of more so looking to gauge what they led and either go for Aurora Veil or Trick Room, or maybe get both in the next turn, getting my Trick Room sweepers. But Psychic was really valuable into multi-scale last turn, and then, yeah, the Aurora Veil Blizzard has just been really solid. So FlutterMane comes in. Yeah, it is Booster Energy Photosynthesis, and that's going to be special attack, so they should be able to knock me out. I'm going to go for Trick Room here, as well as a... Blizzard does a little less than... I think I'm going to go for Blizzard just because I can freeze them. Moonblast would be a little borderline on knocking out Furret. My guess would be pretty close. I wonder if we live Shadow Ball. Probably not, but you never know. Yeah, we don't. Could have gone for Terra Dark, but I didn't want to waste my Terra. I think Terra Poison is a lot safer of an endgame for us. Yep, we get the Blizzard off. Doesn't do a lot, but... Ooh. What berry is that? Okay, that should be in range for Moonblast. So not the worst deal, or not the biggest deal. So now I do like Baxcalibur coming in. I should be able to, I think I'm going to go for an interesting play. I'm actually not going to Moonblast, and I'm not going to Blizzard. I'm going to go Terra Poison. That's a little risky. Let's see. If I go for Terra Poison, I could lose to Chien-Pao in the back. But only if they... Interesting spot. I think I go for Howl here. I think I go Howl, Scale Shot. They should be follow meing here. If they protect Furret on the Ice Skull Spear, honestly, fantastic play. But that does seem a little unlikely. They're going for a Terra, and it's going to be Terra Fairy, so... Yeah, Terra Fairy. I do have the Aurora Veil up, so I should be taking around 20% after my Terra. But I definitely didn't have to risk the Terra this turn if I didn't want to. Because I should live with Aurora Veil, but yeah, with the... This guarantees me a survival if they crit. As well as just way less damage, not being in range for the Chien-Pao. It does go for Follow Me, so now I think we're going to see the value of Scale Shot. They should be knocking out Ninetales. I think they did enough. Yeah, if I was a bulky Ninetales, I think I could live, but... Oh, that's really bad for them. Yeah, this is a combination we saw a lot of the time in Regulation C with Howl Arcanine plus Palafin. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. That's tough. Okay. Yeah, I could have gotten the 100% accurate move there, but I didn't go for it. And now you're in a bit of trouble. Okay. I think we still can go for the same play and just Moonblast, try and get a special attack drop, or put them in Ice Shard range. But one thing to be conscious of, we are... Oh, they protect FlutterMane. That doesn't seem right. Unless they're doing it with both, which they aren't, which does feel like a mistake. Yeah, there's the Scale Shot. This time we are able to connect, and we should be knocking the Furret. I should look up if each individual Scale Shot is an accuracy check. I don't think that it is, but based on how Mousehold's Population Bomb works, where it's an individual check every time, it might be. But yeah, there's the speed boost. We do lose the snow, so Ninetales' value has kind of outlasted itself, but I think with Howl, we should be fine. We do lower our special defense, which is a little annoying, but we should be able to go for... Defense drop is a little annoying, for sure. But they have lowered their attack. We are +1. I think Ice Shard's going to knock them out, truthfully. with the Sword of Ruin boost, and with that I think we can go into Ursaluna. Just in case we don't knock out, like I think their most likely play is probably going to be Sucker Punch, which we should be outspeeding with our Baxcalibur at this point. I believe I trained it to be outspeeding FlutterMane and Chien-Pao's at +1, which is really a really strong option on this set, kind of why you run it. But now we do have the additional priority option in the face of their priority, so we should outpace that, and we're able to get our Snow back on the field next turn. We do crit the Ice Shard. I think that's borderline, but based on their damage output, it wouldn't surprise me if they were not crazy bulky. Yeah, and they Sucker Punched anyways. It was probably going to be Ice Shard Sucker Punch, and with Ursaluna coming in this turn, I don't think they actually had a chance. So, with physical attacks being their only option, now we just go for our best options, and I don't think they have a chance to win. See how much Ice Cold Spear does. It does exactly half of Scale Shot, so it'll be interesting to know this roll. But I just didn't want to miss, and yeah. If we go for Scale Shot at +1 with the Howl against a Chien-Pao, we are guaranteed to knock out, which is very cool. Icicle Crash into Ursaluna, it's just a little too bulky. A little bulkier than it should be, and we live that hit. I've also seen it live, I think, Wood Hammers from Rillaboom too, so that just natural physical bulk is absurd. And we do get to show off the Ninetales, I think in the best fashion so far, which is a good way to close it out. So yeah, really good games. I think we went 5-0 on the session, so if you enjoyed the team, please subscribe to the channel. I have the rental code in the top right of the description, as well as the PokePay, as well as the EV spreads in the description below, along with the team's creator and the tournament this team comes from, if you want to look at the other teams in the standings. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a great rest of your day. With all that being said, peace y'all.